So the next kit for August is the Erigeron Kit. We used this last month for our summer planter and I couldn't pronounce it. I've never been able to say it. I think I'm getting better, but I probably will pause before I say the word because it's just one of those words for me that I just cannot get my head around. Don't know why. Anyway, so this is the Erigeron Kit. I've been looking forward to this one for ages. It's always been in the plans to do this for August. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, it's so beautiful. Just the most kind of cottage garden kit I think we've ever done. And I really hope you'll love it. It's one of those that kind of keeps giving, you know, as soon as the flowers go over, you literally just pinch them off like I'm doing now, and then I can see little buds there, and then they'll just come back and it just keeps on giving, and it will flower probably, depending on the sort of climate in your garden, it will flower into autumn, and then you can just leave it to die back and it will come back next year. And you also might find, and in my opinion this is a good thing, that it self-seeds, so you might find that you've planted it in your pot and you've left it on your table in your garden, and then, you know, next year you might find that you've got it in some borders or in you know, like nooks and crannies in your garden, in some, you know, patio paving slabs. Yeah, it's a really beautiful plant, so I hope you love this one. So to make it a bit different this month, I've given you two different pot options. They are actually excuse me, they are actually both the same size, so they're both 16 centimetre diameter. The ribbed pot is slightly taller than the scalloped pot, but they are both, you know, a perfect size for your plant. So let's get potting up. I'm just going to pot this one up because it's exactly the same. And as you can see, this is a brand new Castle scalloped pot. Still really pale in colour. I love it at this point. You'll probably have it, oh sorry, you'll probably have it this colour for a few uses, depending if you move, you know, pot something on or not. But it does eventually go to this kind of really aged look. This is a very old one. I probably had this over a year and used it sort of multiple times, as you can probably tell. But yeah, so that's sort of to show you the difference of how it just ages beautifully. Okay, so let's pot up. So in your kit, as always, you'll have your gravel, your compost and your moss, obviously your plant and your pot. So just adding in all the gravel that's in your kit. So the purpose of the gravel, you know, I'm sure you know this by now, is to just provide that extra bit of drainage so that the roots aren't sat in water for too long time. Okay, so the gravel's gone in, and then I would add in maybe 2 sort of big handfuls of the compost and just lightly press that down on top of the gravel. And then after giving your Erigeron a good water, you take it out of the pot. In theory, oh, it's coming. Oh, come on. Oh. Okay, there we go. Whoop. And then just simply pop that in. Now, around the edges, you'll have the gaps to add in more compost. So just gently sort of pull back the stems and then make a mess, and then add in your compost. And then gently compress down, making sure there aren't too many big air pockets. Perfect. And what you will find is that the Erigeron is in a, I think it's in a 13 centimetre plastic plant pot, I believe. Once it's in your 16 centimetre pot, it will spread and get much bigger quite quickly. So there's definitely scope for growth, which is lovely. Okay, and now we can add in our moss. So you will have in your kit the bun moss, which is this kind of moss, and then you will have your flat moss, which is this sort of kind of woodlandy kind of feel moss. My personal favourite at the moment. So just add in your moss around the edges on top of your compost. Now when you're watering your plants, please make sure you're watering your compost and not your moss. So what you might find is that you think you're watering your plant and then it dies, and you know, when you touch it like this, it feels damp, and then when you actually lift the moss up, the compost is bone dry. So please try and sort of, if you can, you know, go from one side, take up some of the moss and water it that way. Give it a really good drink, and then, yeah, just keep it damp really. If it's raining in the garden, which I'm sure, you know, will probably be the case for the next week or so, you don't need to worry. But if we have a really lovely dry spell, sunny spell, no rain, then give it water. So obviously, because it is in a pot, it will dry out quicker. So you need to kind of just keep a little bit more of a closer eye on your potted plants than if they're in the ground. And yeah, just enjoy it, pop it on your garden table, and it will just keep flowering. So to enable actually the new buds to grow and bloom, you simply pick out the daisies that have gone over. Now, interestingly, when they go over, they don't look aesthetically displeasing at all. They purely lose their petals, and then you've got these kind of quite cute little sort of old heads, I guess. But to encourage new growth, and I can see lower down there's some really cute little buds coming up, you can use secateurs or your hands if you would rather. You simply just take that stem that's gone over, you follow it down to where it meets another stem, and then you simply, you know, with your nail, just pick it off, and that's it. And then you'll find more buds will spring up and bloom. Sorry, awful. And there we have it. That is your Erigeron kit. So you can either choose the scalloped pot, which is this one here with the kind of more detailed scallop edging, or you can choose the ribbed pot, which is this one with the kind of bobbly bits around the top and around the top of the saucer, and then the ribbing in the main body of the pot. So there you have it, the Erigeron kit.